So what determines the quality of someone's life? What makes the difference in the quality of someone's life? Why is it that someone makes $10,000 a year can be happier and have a more prosperous life than someone that makes $400,000 a year? So I want to dive into this topic a lot deeper. So I did a little Instagram post today just about how we perceive things and how we can talk to ourselves. But you know, I'm sitting on my front porch now. I just got back from the gym. You know, this is really the truest version of myself. I don't need to go on fucking rooftops or pose in front of cars or anything like that. This is just me being real, talking about things I care about and things that should be important in other people's lives, because it affects the quality of their lives, regardless of what they do. And I'm sitting out here with Kobe, the real Kobe. No, not the real Kobe. The dog Kobe. Kobe Bryant, one of my favorite basketball players of all time. That's why I love naming my dog Kobe. Actually is my favorite basketball player of all time. But what determines, why is it that some people can have such an extraordinary life with so little, and some people can have an awful life, an awful mindset, not be happy at all, or very, very little happiness when they seem to have everything? And it really all comes down to perspective. How do you see things? How do you perceive things? So you can break down all different areas of life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. Happiness is the culmination of all three of those pillars. That's, I believe it was Aristotle broke it down into those four pillars, the four pillars of the good life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. So it's just a way to break things down, and you can always break things down on a list and numbers and everything like that to try to systematize it and try to make it better. But let's just talk about the first one, health, because that's the most relatable. That's the easiest thing for people to think of. Why is it the quality of some people's lives? Like, why is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, The Rock, one of the most well-known, not only actors, but people ever in the history of mankind, right? Obviously, he did wrestling. He's a killer in movies, and he's done a number of other things. Why is it that he's an incredible body? Yeah, he played football in college. Why is it that he is the face of so many different fitness trends and, you know, just staying in shape, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the, you know, 70s and 80s and even the 90s and probably even the early 2000s. Like, why is The Rock, what makes him different fitness wise? Well, he perceives the gym. He sees the gym as his paradise. He calls it his iron paradise. You know, most people think about the gym and they say, oh man, I got to go to the gym today. Look at him. He wants attention. He's trying to put his paw up. He's looking at my hand. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I love you. Trying to give him attention, give him loving. He's such a lover. But why do so many people think, oh man, I have to go to the gym, or I got to get this workout in. I got to push through this workout. I got to grind through this workout. Yeah, grinding is great and pushing yourself is great, but just think about it in your own mind. And it's different for everyone. Everyone doesn't have to call the gym their iron paradise, but you got to frame things in your mind the way you want them to be, right? You can't just let, you know, other people's thoughts or what's popular or trying to be cool. You know, people say, oh, I got to go to the gym because they want to sound cool or they want to sound like, you know, everybody else. And I think that's the worst thing in life, just being like everybody else. That's absolutely disgusting in my mind. Some people want that though. So it's not a terrible thought. It's not a terrible thing. So don't think you're wrong if you want to be like everyone else, because everyone has their own North Star. But how do we change our reality? How do we change the way we perceive things? So The Rock calls the gym his iron paradise. Lifting weights is his iron paradise. Now, I'm not perfect by any means. I'm trying to implement the same type of strategy into my own life, into those different areas. And you can go so much deeper. You know, you can talk about, well, I like to lift weights, but I hate doing cardio. And I think a lot of people hate doing cardio. But how can you frame it in your mind? What are the reasons why that cardio can be so good in your mind? So perception, the way we perceive things. So obviously the gym is an easy one to understand. The gym is the easy way to perceive it. The biggest example that sticks out to me is You know how people in the thing I'm most familiar with, people in tropical countries, like especially baseball related countries, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, places like that, closer to the equator. Obviously there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of terrible things that go on in those countries, but how is it that some people that can live in shacks and live with virtually no money, probably no income, you know, wealth to them is like having a goat, right? Having a goat, tying up a goat in their yard. That's wealth. That's prosperous for them. Imagine taking a middle class person, just a regular middle class person from the United States, and putting them in a foreign country with a shack with hardly any walls, hardly any roof, that'll get destroyed by any sort of strong, powerful storm. Imagine putting them into a tropical country and say, the most prosperous thing you can do while you're here is to obtain a goat. Imagine that. Think of that. But in their mind, they have everything. And it's like the typical story that you hear from immigrants that come to this country, or people in, you know, come here. He's itching himself. He's trying to eat some grass too. Come here. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Lost my train of thought. But how is it that people that come from, you know, other countries, immigrants, literally with nothing when they get here, can, or people with lower income can come here, or just grow up in a lower income area, and they can literally be the happiest person in the world? I mean, there's countless examples. You hear it all the time, but, you know, someone with, you know, a rough background, a bad background, literally grows up and they think that's all there is. So they think they have enough, and they do have plenty. But then there's kids that are spoiled and get everything, and they grow up to be depressed and sad, and it's crazy. And I'm probably not elaborating it as clearly as I understand it. And that's the whole point of doing these talks, is to actually just get my thoughts out into verbal communication. And, you know, doing it on video is just easy way to do it, because, you know, I can read back, and I can look at my body language a little bit, and I can hear the tone of my voice, and I can see a bunch of different things going on. The audio part of it is great, but just having a visual to put to it as well makes it so much more valuable, even if it's just me talking on screen like this. And you know, so this is way more valuable for me than probably anybody listening to it. But anyways, I promise I'm gonna get better with these. I promise that I'm gonna continue to provide more value. I'm gonna dive deeper into human psychology. I'm gonna dive deeper into why people do things, how people do things, and you know, how you can improve your quality of life by just implementing some small tactics. And obviously I'm on the same journey that you guys are on. Everyone's at a different point. That's another big thing that, you know, kind of irks me, kind of bothers me, and it's really not fair. Why do so many people, so many parents put kids on a timeline? You know, you grow up, you go to school, you go to each grade at a certain age, which is a whole nother topic. I don't even think that you should be put into a certain grade because of your age or how old you are. You know, I don't think you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, what about kids that really excel in class? Why can't they accelerate their learning process? Why can't they go through the school system quicker? I'm not saying skip grades. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm trying to say go at a quicker rate. So you don't have to go to first grade for a whole year, and second grade for a whole year, third grade for an entire year. If you're in first grade and you can reach all of the capabilities of a second grader, if you can go through all that first grade, I guess, standards and curriculum, which again is a whole nother topic, you should be able to go quicker. But anyways, as a whole, going through the school system year by year, college year by year, graduate school, if you go to graduate school, year by year, and then, you know, by the time you're age 25, you gotta have your career, and then by the time you're age 30, you gotta have a house, and then by the time, you know, whatever, 32, you gotta be married and starting to have a family. It's just a bullshit. It's such a bullshit fucking standard, and that's the way it used to be. That's more traditional thinking. And I'm glad it's going away. I'm glad a lot of people are talking about it, and just want to understand. I want to stress to other people that, you know, go at your own rate. You know, find out what works for you, what makes sense for you. Don't be stuck in the constraints of society and the culture around you. You know, just because your brothers and sisters or your peers are married and, you know, starting a family and they have a house and stuff by the time they're whatever 28, doesn't mean you have to. You might not do it till you're 35. And there's some biological factors that you have to keep in mind. You know, it's going to be tougher to have a kid when, you know, you're 50 years old or you're 60 years old, but it's been done. Just don't get stuck in the constraints that, you know, culture and society puts you in, because it can be deafening. The mailman out here is like revving his engine, going nuts, getting hype. But anyways, hope you guys all have a great Friday. Can't wait to do some more of these talks. This is only day 4 of 67, and I already noticed some areas improvement that I have to really work on. So I'm excited to share more with you guys. I'm excited to talk more with you guys, and you know, provide some value for you guys' life. So everyone have a great weekend. I'll talk to you tomorrow.